Well, it's great to see you all. I'm glad you're here. I have a set of songs today that is the common thread that runs through them is awe, or the sense of wonder. I put nature in the email, but really the more I thought about it, the more the connecting thing is the emotion of wonder. A friend of mine introduced me to the idea this winter that wonder is one of the basic emotions. It's been kind of fashionable to break down emotions into basic emotions like fear and joy and anger and so forth. And the Disney movie came out that did that, and then added disgust to the picture. And all that it's neat to think about emotions that way. And he asserted that the sense of awe is actually another basic emotion. And I like the idea a lot because it does feel different from any of those other ones. Maybe it's a combination of fear and joy, but now it's its own thing. And I've been kind of a wonder junkie since I was a kid. That's what got me hooked on science fiction. That's gotten me hooked on going and finding amazing things in nature and experiencing them. And I feel awe in the presence of other human beings as well. So I've written a few songs that are about that feeling. One of them is called Ocean Man. When my family, my sister and I were growing up, my family used to go to the Oregon coast every summer, and we'd spend a couple of weeks there near Waldport and Yachats in the middle of the Oregon coast. And I'm wearing my gray hooded sweatshirt in honor of those times, because that's the uniform. You go to those cold, windy beaches, and I'd wear my hooded sweatshirt, and I'd fill my pockets full of licorice jelly beans, and just walk endlessly on those beaches. I did that a couple of years ago. I went to those same beaches, and I went to the candy store in the little town and bought some licorice jelly beans and stuffed my pockets full of them, and stuffed my other pockets full of agates that my parents had collected over decades from those beaches, and ate jelly beans and scattered the agates back on the beach so that other people could find them. Anyway, this song is contemporaneous notes. I wrote it when I was about 20 years old, and we were all still going to the beach in those days. Didn't stop doing that until my mom passed away in the late 90s. So this song's called Ocean Man, and it is an evocation of how it used to feel going to the beach every summer. I'm going to play it slow. It was suggested some time ago that I play this song slow so you could really hear the words and feel it, and I'm going to do that. You say you love green mountains, I am an ocean man. You say you love your city streets, well, I'm an ocean man. And I know those city streets, yeah, like the back of my hand. And I love your mountains also, but I'm an ocean man. I am an ocean man. Give me endless battles between the sea and land, between the waves and the pebbles in the sand, where it all began. You say you love your people. I am an ocean man. You say you need their company. I'm an ocean man. And I have my people also. I love to touch a hand and hear the laughter of a friend. But I'm an ocean man. I am an ocean man. Give me endless reaches where a man can stand alone upon the endless beaches in the sand where it all began. Say you love those mountain mornings when the world is pink and white. You say you love those violet evenings and the crystal nights. Well, I've seen that mountain sunshine as it greets the land, and I've been known to stand in starshine, but I'm an ocean man. I am an ocean man when the sky is storming and the blood-red clouds of anger reflect the sailor's warning in the sand where it all began. Ooh, ocean man. Ooh, ocean man. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Amy, for suggesting that I slow that one down. That's good. That was good advice. Yeah, cool. Another natural wonder that puts me in that sense of awe, probably more than anything else I've ever experienced, is a total eclipse of the sun. And I usually, when I play this song, I usually talk about the eclipse I wrote it about, which was the one that happened in 2017 in the United States. But the first eclipse I ever saw was in Libya in 2006. And I signed up for a cruise with my girlfriend and my son, who was 15, perfect age to take him to see something like this. And we went on a 3-week cruise of the Mediterranean. We went to Egypt and saw the pyramids and drove in Cairo traffic. We went to Italy. We saw Pompeii. We went all over the place. And all the people on board the ship were subscribers to Sky and Telescope magazine. So it was 3 weeks immersed in astronomy lectures and fellow night sky geeks. It was really a blast, a wonderful thing to do, well worth the investment of time and money. On the day of a couple days before the eclipse, we landed in Libya, which had just reopened to tourism Muammar Gaddafi had promised that he would not sponsor terrorism anymore, and the Western powers were allowing their citizens to go visit Libya for the first time in a couple of decades. And they built a dock in the city of Tobruk to accommodate cruise ships. And ours was the first cruise ship to dock at that new dock. When we landed, when we pulled up to the dock at 6 in the morning, the whole town, the roofs, all the roofs of all the houses and buildings in the town were lined with people, all watching this cruise ship come into their city for the first time that they could remember. I had my binoculars with me, of course, and I was watching these roofs, and my son Graham was tugging on my sleeve, hoping to get a chance with the binoculars, hoping I would turn the binoculars over to him. And right at that very moment, I was watching a rooftop, and there was a man with binoculars looking at the cruise ship, and his little kid was tugging on his sleeve, wanting to have a chance at the binoculars and watch the tourists arrive. So Libya turned out to be a completely different experience than I'd expected. I was somewhat fearful. My only vision of Libya at this time was terrorists sticking out of the top of a VW van from Back to the Future. And that turned out not to be the case. Many of the people from the cruise ship got off the boat in Tobruk, and they were invited over to people's houses for dinner, sitting in front of on the porch, sharing a hookah. It was, and came back with all kinds of stories to tell. And it was one of several lessons on that trip, and many lessons since, that the people of a country are not the same as the government of that country. It's just not the same thing. So anyway, the eclipse was wonderful. It was in the desert. We went out in the desert about 60 miles inland from Tobruk and watched it from there. And that was the first eclipse of my life. I'm thinking that I'm going to go get to my storage area and dig out a DVD I have, which has a video of me going absolutely crazy during the eclipse, just sort of beside myself with excitement. It's embarrassing, but I think it probably ought to be on YouTube. I'll see if I can dig that out. The sun goes dark, the birds don't make a sound. When the sun goes dark, the fox comes out and he looks around, and the time has come to gather round, my friends, when the sun goes dark. When the sun goes dark, the planets all come out. When the sun goes dark, the people raise up a joyful shout, and the air grows cool. You don't have time to blink. There's shadow bands and diamond rings, hot pink fire and pearly wings. The night bird calls and the cricket sings when the sun goes dark. When the sun goes dark, when the sun goes dark, and then the show is over, the diamond ring appears, time begins to move again, and sound comes to my ears. It seems to last forever, and still it ends too soon. Shall we make a new beginning on this newest of new moons? When the sun goes dark, the bees go home to rest. When the sun sun goes dark. I kiss the ones that I love best when the sun goes dark. In another place and time, look for me on the center line. Sunset colors all around, 1,000 crescents on the ground. I'll see you all, my friends, when the sun goes dark. 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 Thank you. Yeah, great. That's good to see.
So do you have like a telescope?
You know, I have had 3 good telescopes over the years. I don't have one now. I built a couple of them myself. I really got into building telescopes for a little while and built 2. And I absolutely love the night sky. Do you have a telescope?
I do not. But, I see these ones now, that are auto tracking and all of that. I mean, they're crazy. You can plug in anything you want, and they just find it for you, which maybe takes some of the thrill out of it. I don't know. But
Well, yeah. Not all labor saving is actually a plus. Like if you're a collector, you collect shells or something, or old watches. Half of the joy is the treasure hunt, and if you can just get on eBay and find exactly what you want without any effort, then it's not the same thing. You get to have the thing, but finding the thing is at least half of the joy, and that's true in the sky as well, because you learn your way around. I'll still look at the sky. I can spot planets usually because the sky looks wrong. I'll look up in the sky and I'll go, wait a minute, there is no constellation that looks like that. So there must be a planet in there somewhere, and then figure out which one doesn't belong. If you've got the telescope, you have to go from one star to star hop. It's called star hopping. You go to a known star and you get it in the field, and then you can move, a little bit this way and find another one that pattern, and that way. There's a ton of pattern recognition involved in stargazing, and that really is half the fun. I used to go out. I have a special fondness for a star cluster called the Alpha Persei Association. And the reason I like the Alpha Persei Association is because I had never heard of it, and I was just out looking at the Milky Way with just with my naked eye. And all of a sudden, this cluster jumped out at me. I went, what is that? I have no idea what that is. And when I went home, because this was before the internet, I went home and I looked it up in my books and I found out what it was. And so now that's, I feel like I have some sense of ownership of that star cluster because I found it. I discovered that. Yeah.
That fits your theme of wonder and awe very well, that story.
Good point. Yes, thank you, Amy. Yeah, just spending a night. The folks that are familiar with the Central Coast will know the Carrizo Plain. As in, Reeps is nodding. The Carrizo Plain is an extraordinarily dark sky that's only an hour and a half drive from San Luis Obispo, and you can drive out there and just be in. The super dark skies are awe-inspiring in and of themselves, just without any telescopes or binoculars. Yeah. I sang this next song a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to try and play it a little bit different this time because I just played it a couple of weeks ago. But and I'm going to talk about it from a little different angle of what I usually do. It's called The Cove, and it's another song about the ocean and the beach. And that's a place that my favorite beach here on the Central Coast is a place that has inspired that emotion of awe many times, like every time I go. One of the reasons is that it's a south-facing beach, and if you look on a globe, you're looking across 7,000 miles of open ocean at Antarctica. The next land that you could see if the Earth were flat is Antarctica, 7,000 miles away. So the sense of scale is huge. And I used to go to that beach on a Sunday. Sunday is my favorite day to go to the beach, and a little bit, I think, comes with the association with going to church. That was my church for 10 years. I'd go every Sunday to the beach and just enjoy the nature and the sunshine and my friends. That was really great. There was no percolator coffee, but otherwise it was a great church. There's a place by the ocean, caught between the cliffs and the tide, a narrow sandy slice of the garden with the rocks on either side. Come and meet me by the water. I'll see you at the edge of the sea. Neptune's son and Aphrodite's daughter, for one day we shall be free. You won't need your suit of armor, you may leave it on the sand. Feel the sun upon your body and the breeze upon your skin. Come and meet me by the waters. We'll gather at the edge of the sea. Neptune's sons and Aphrodite's daughters, for one day we shall be free. Come and meet me by the waters. We'll gather at the edge of the sea. Neptune's sons and Aphrodite's daughters, for one day we shall be free. One day we shall be free. Thanks. I was reminded when I was working on that song that I did a very, very different version of it and recorded it back in the 90s and put it on my Flying Dream CD. It's a cappella, and it has like a chant in the background, an insistent om, om, om. It's really interesting. You might want to look it up sometime. It's on my Spotify channel, The Cove. I really like I'm a really big fan of nostalgia, and there is a way in which nostalgia reminds me of awe. The two have something in common for me, that resonance with the past. And this next song is called "Breathing Through My Skin," and I usually present it as a love song, but it's also an awe song or a wonder song. The whole second verse is about the marvelous connection with nature, and the whole song is about a reunion with somebody who was very dear to me, and there is a sense of wonder in reuniting. That's the best I can describe it. So here we go with "Breathing Through My Skin." Been so long since I felt this fire. Been so long since I moved to this rhythm, to this slow, sweet rhythm. Been so long since I felt this fire. Been so long since I moved to this rhythm. Lazy lips, flash like no other. A slender hand, the hand of a lover. Take your time, amend my fences. Let your hands melt away my defenses. Take from me my old rusty armor. Let it fall gently to the floor. Yes, it's you. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Yes, it's me. Not a dream, and not a memory. There at last, I think I've opened up my senses wide enough to take in the impossible reality of loving you. And then I'm breathing through my skin. I'm breathing through my skin. Now we lie in the presence of forest, air so green. I taste with my body clifftop at sunrise, between earth and sky. Take my hand. Wait. I could hang here forever. Let our souls arrive. Let's go through this together. There at last, I think I've opened up my senses wide enough to take in the impossible reality of loving you. And then I'm breathing through my skin. I'm breathing through my skin. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm breathing through my skin. Been so long since I felt this fire. Thank you. I felt that one. Well, those are the only ones of my songs that I have, as I reviewed my song list, those are the only ones I think that reflect awe and wonder. I think I might want to write a song about my recent experience with Pele. We'll see. I had the incredible pleasure of managing to get to the Kilauea caldera while it was fountaining. And I have a little bit of fountain envy because this last week it fountained up to 1,000 feet, which is, those videos, you gotta check them out. Episode 23 of the Kilauea eruption was just astonishing. But the ones I saw were 500 or 600 feet, which will do. A lava, having enough pressure inside that volcano to shoot lava as high as the Space Needle, that's pretty darn cool. And, it cooled off and turned into rocks at the top, and so you can see these rocks falling from 600 feet in the air. It was truly astonishing. And I felt a lot during that time, and I don't have there's no music or anything or even lyrics associated with it yet, but I have it in the back of my mind that could be another great awe and wonder song. Yeah. Does anybody have any thoughts or things they'd like to hear?
So have you seen like the Aurora Borealis?
I have. I've seen it twice. Once from an airplane. The best one was from a plane. I was flying to Europe. And when you go from the U.S. to Europe, you go over the Arctic. And so you could see these curtains of green light as far as the eye could see. My seatmate, my boss actually, was watching the latest James Bond movie and I nudged him. I said, "Hey, this is much better. Lean over here. Look out this window." So we stared at that for a long time. Really amazing.
I mean, that must inspire a certain amount of awe. When I saw him, I was just amazed.
Well, did you see him they're from Seattle?
Yeah, I saw him from my deck here in Wine Federal Way area.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that really rarely happens. I can't remember.
Oh, very rare.
Yeah. Wow. What was it? Just green or red and what colors?
No, I had full spectrum.
Oh man, you got the.
Obviously it gets enhanced when you use photography to develop it, but it was like I said, it was sitting out there, and I have a view directly north, But looking straight into the Seattle city lights. I mean, and so it was kind of amazing when all of a sudden, I look up and I'm seeing this pulsating ribbons and stuff, and it's like, wow, I cannot believe this. From here, I had it on my bucket list, to go to Iceland, go to the Yukon, go to all the various options for trying to view them. But I saw them really well right here.
Oh my gosh!
And that was just about a year ago. I think it was like May 10th, as I recall, last year.
Just about exactly a year ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody else seen the aurora?
Yeah, we went up and saw them at Mount Shuksan, and it was totally amazing. They're like in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, and there's like probably 300 people show up in this parking lot, and it was just amazing.
Fantastic. Were you watching the forecasts and aware that this was going to happen?
Yeah, my best friend is a professional nature and wildlife photographer, and so he has like charts and programs and whatnot that tells him when and where to watch for stuff.
Wow. Did he call you up and say, "Come on, John, let's go. It's time"?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Super cool.
Get back at 3 a.m.
Perfect. That's exactly right. I think that sense of awe and wonder is more accessible when you are in the middle of an ordeal of some kind or another. Although you're sitting on the back of on your porch, that's pretty awesome right there. Just sitting on your deck.
This is, I mean, this will point me as being really old, but to be sitting out here on my deck, I've got you propped up on a little mini iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what you look like.
Oh boy, you're going to get some feedback or something. No. Okay.
There's enough of a delay.
Yeah.
But you're on an old fat Seattle phone book.
I'm sitting.
And
wow.
Here we are. What an age we live in.
No kidding. It's wonderful. It's an age of miracles, monsters and miracles.
There you go.
There's a TED Talk called that. Look it up. I highly
Really?
recommend it. Yes, it's The Age of Monsters and Miracles, and I was reminded of it today because I just ran into it yesterday.
Who is it? Do you know?
Yeah, his first name is Austin somebody or other. He's been... Yeah, dang it! It's an official TED Talk from Vancouver 2025.
Yeah, okay.
And it's called something about the age of monsters and miracles, which is a quote from somebody or other. So yeah, details are fuzzy, but he's observing. To put it in my own words, we're very focused on the global collapse of everything. It seems like there's just endless, unprecedented, disastrous news, and at the same time, there's also endless, unprecedented, marvelous news that is, of course, not getting anywhere near as much attention as the disastrous stuff. That's just the way news works. People are much more drawn to things that they might need to worry about.
Well, that's where they say if it bleeds, it leads.
There you go.
That's right. I used to work in radio. I did news and sports for a little station in Montana, and had an all-night rock and roll show in Memphis, and I worked in radio for a while, and that's what got me out of it was doing the news, and realizing, my goodness, this is a really depressing thing to be spreading around. I'm not going to do that anymore. But anyway, this guy has been running a website for about 10 years. It's had various names, but it's Australian. And his job, it's called Fix the News now. That's its current name. And he sends out a newsletter once every week or so that is just marvelous. And it shows there are some very surprising statistics about how the world is going simultaneously to all the bad news and disaster and downhill stuff. And so we are headed we're headed for heaven and hell at the same time at breakneck speed. and his point is that that's actually always been true. and that really all these giant events that we don't have much control over, but you have control over which team you're on. You have control of which story. Both stories are true. The world is going to hell, and the world is full of amazing miracles. And your choice is actually just which story are you going to participate in, are going to help tell. Because the future will be created by all of us in the aggregate. That's who's going to create the future, us. But each of us has a tiny one thread to weave in the whole tapestry. So, highly recommend it. If you're interested, throw a comment in the chat or contact me, and I'll send you a link to it. Actually, I know who all's here. I'll just send you links. Yeah, I'll send you links. Great stuff. Well, I did enough talking for now. Anybody else?
I remember in your email said you were going to play tree also.
I forgot. Thank you, Amy. Yes. The nature theme. Yeah. Thank you. This is the first song I ever wrote. It's actually a co-write with my sister. My dear sister and I wrote songs together when we were in our teens, and some of them were really goofy. And for some reason, the first one that we ever did sounds just has stuck. It has a certain charm to it that the other ones didn't, and it's remained in my set list for all these years. So here's Tree. There was a man with hands of brown who came to town and settled down. And he said, tree, and there were trees all over town. Then came a man who was so lean, he had to holler to be seen. And he said, tree, and all the trees were turning green. Then came a man who was so old that his years could not be told. And he said, tree, and all the trees bore fruit of gold. And then a man who was so small, no more than 7 inches tall, said, tree, and all the trees began to fall. Then came a man with smoky hair who said that trees should not be there. And he said, tree, and there was concrete everywhere. And then a man with hands of brown came to town and settled down. And he said, tree, and there were trees all over town. Cool. Thanks. Yeah, that's special. It's sort of like Pete Seeger singing Dr. Seuss or something. I love that song. Reeps, I don't think you've ever heard that. That one's new to you, isn't it? Yeah, I can see. You're muted, but I can tell.
Yeah, I heard it a couple of weeks ago. You played it, or a month or two ago, and yeah, I totally love it. It's a really great song.
Okay. Surprisingly good for a 17-year-old kid writing with his sister. I had just barely learned how to, play guitar at that point. Got a picture. There's one picture of me playing guitar at that age, and it's on YouTube on the very first one of these Zoom concerts that I did, the first episode, and it's this old picture from way back when. Roger Douthit, who comes to these shows, took that picture. I'm sure a lot of us have copies of the pictures he took that day.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the official photographer. I do believe. But I'm sitting there playing, an A minor chord and looking at the guitar and playing it like this. It's really fun to see.
Even though we don't have rain in the background today, how about the blues down to my feet, or do I have the title right?
Skin, actually. Although there was plenty of water on my feet that day. Yep. Yeah, this was the day when, this was the month when it didn't rain in Seattle for the entire month of August, the calendar month of August, not a drop of rain. And when it finally did rain, I put on my old tennis shoes and with no socks, and a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I lived on Capitol Hill at the time, right near downtown, and I walked down the hill and into downtown and just got as wet as I possibly could get. I have one of the things that about growing up in Seattle is just being so acclimated to rain that it's utterly normal. To this day, I find rain to be nostalgic and sort of nourishing. I love rain. I just spent 2 months in Hawaii, and it rained there every day practically, and just that is some wonderful rain to go out in. But Seattle rain will do, especially if it's been a whole month since you felt it. I think I'm going to capo this up here. I like to sing it higher. With my feet right in it and my head in the air, I feel it on my smile. It's the first I've felt it in a long, long time. I hope it stays around for a while. Yeah, I hope it hangs around for a while. 'Cause I'm walking downtown on a rainy day. Don't let the sunshine in. The sunshine never makes me feel this way. I got the blues right down to my skin. I got the blues soaking down to my skin. Well, I got no place that I want to go. I got no place I want to be. I got cool, clear water running down my face, and that's all that matters to me. Yeah, that's the only thing that matters to me. 'Cause I'm walking downtown on a rainy day. Don't let the sunshine in. The sunshine never makes me feel this way. I got the blues right down to my skin. I got the blues soaking down to my skin. I got the blues right down to my skin. All right. I'll be hitting the road for a little while, looking up friends who can make me smile. Settling here is on my mind, but I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. Shine, let 'em shine. I'm never gonna shine around the corner, and that's just fine. Shine, let 'em shine. I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. Well, I left that town in 22. I thought I'd head home to the place I knew. I stepped in the river, but it wasn't the same. Well, it might have been the place, and it might have been me that changed. So I said to myself, I got 100 friends. I'd drive all night just to see them again. I don't have a schedule and I don't have a plan, but I got my freedom and I got my minivan. Shine, let 'em shine. Now they're never gonna shine around the corner, and that's just fine. Shine, let 'em shine. I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. I've been getting rid of the stuff I own. It's easier to fly with hollow bones. Trading it all for a little time to read a novel or write a song, or drive all day just listening to John crying. Let 'em shine. I don't have a lot of money, but I got a lot of peace of mind. Shine, let 'em shine. I got $47 in my pocket, it's all mine. I'll be hitting the road for a little while, looking up friends who can make me smile. Taking a stand for this life of mine, and looking just as far down the road as my headlights shine. Shine, let 'em shine. They're never gonna shine around the corner, and that's just fine. Shine, let 'em shine. I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. There. Thank you.
It's a lot of songs about pickup trucks and hot rods, but there aren't enough songs about minivans.
You have a good point there, sir.